Hey everybody, I'm back with another process video, and I am doing a layout for the Clique Kits design team featuring the June 2017 kit Aquarelle. It's absolutely gorgeous. Make sure you check it out. There's a link to the Clique Kits website down below. Now, for most of the design team projects that we do for the Clique Kits design team, they are themed. And so the theme I'm working with is called Geek Lab. And Geek Lab basically focuses on using technology as a creative element on your scrapbook projects. And so what I did was I used one of the exclusive cut files that you see there, and it says Shine Like the Stars. I'm going to use that as my title. Now, I cut this cut file using some very dark blue cardstock. However, it was not navy blue, and that's what I wanted. I wanted the navy blue from the polka dot pattern paper that you see there to show through, since I was using some white textured cardstock. And I decided, well, you know what, the blue is close enough to the other blues on the layout. Let me just go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so that's where I initially start with this layout. So I'm going to do a little bit of a textual element first before I start adding the photo and other embellishments. I've been very inspired to do more hand stitching on my layouts recently. I watch a lot of YouTube videos where I see scrapbookers doing that. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do that on this layout. I'm feeling so inspired. I'm very proud of myself for thinking about that because I usually don't go there with my scrapbooking, but I am on this particular layout. So I decided I'm going to add a row of stitching to the top left side of the layout, and I'm going to add a row at the bottom right of the layout. I'm using just some basic stitching floss that I purchased at Michael's. It came in a little kit, a little set rather. I think I got maybe 12 floss in the set. Not too bad. Decide to use white because I wanted just sort of a subtle stitch. And here I go stitching away. Now, I am not the best sewer in the world, but I found that the more and more I do it, the better that I get at it. I also don't have an eye for straight, so my little piercing lines came out a little bit wonky, but other than that, I think that the stitching came out great. So there we go, nice little textural element. I'll do the same at the bottom right. Now, to keep all of that in place, I'm going to apply some washi tape in the back, so when I put in the album, it doesn't catch on another layout, and of course ruin all my stitching. And there we go at the bottom right. I really like how that turned out. Now, I could have used another color, but I think the white was just subtle enough. So there is that cut file. And at this point, I'm looking at the cut file, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if I like the blue, but I'm gonna keep going because we all know me. I'm just gonna keep on going because eventually if I don't like it, I'll just pull it up and do it again. Now, most of the elements that are in this kit are from the Wild at Heart collection by Coco Vanilla. I can't remember if I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. That photo is of my little one at her recent school showcase called Be the Change. And every year the children are required to do a service project. And at the end of the year, they present their service project. So for Corinne's project this year, she created custom art for a local assisted living and memory care facility in our area. And after she made the art, we went to the dollar store and got frames and then presented the artwork to the residents. And they absolutely loved it. So that is a photo of her giving her presentation in front of her entire school, which is not a very large school. She goes to a small private school, but large nonetheless when you are 7 years old. Is she gave the perfect presentation and did such a great job. Needless to say, we were beyond proud of her. And you know, it took everything within me not to cry, because every time she does something like that, it's like I tear up and I just want to break out my ugly cry. And of course I'm like the loudest parent. I'm like, go Corinne, you know, I am that parent. I'm so proud of my kid. All right, so what am I doing? I decided to overlay a frame on the photo, and all of these elements, the die cut elements, come from the Wild at Heart by Coco Vanilla collection. And then I wanted a smaller frame to serve as an anchor for some elements I'm going to layer here in a second, and then behind that is a little film strip element. All of this came with the die cut set, which is beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of off-center that just a bit because I need some space for that cut file. So I put it down and I'm thinking, okay, all right, I'm going to go with the blue. Maybe it looks okay. Maybe it'll grow on me after I put all the rest of the elements on the layout. So I'm adding some Tombow Mono aqua glue there. And at this point, since I'm adding that type of glue, then I'm pretty committed to it, except when I lay it down and I look at it, I don't like it. And the reason I don't like it, it's because it's too flat. The color is too flat. And I thought, well, maybe if I had navy blue cardstock, I would like it better. So I would just go out and buy some navy blue cardstock the following day. And I'm like, no, I don't know. I was just kind of, you know, up in the air about it. So at this point, I'm like, let me go ahead and throw some other items onto this layout, and maybe then it'll look better for me. So I have the arrow and some flowers and some butterflies, and I'm kind of positioning things. I haven't quite committed to where I wanted these elements, but I wanted to see how they would look with the design concept that I had in mind. So I'm doing a lot of layering with the flowers and the leaves and the butterflies. I have this little rubber charm here that says best ever. I was going to mount a, not a flower, but that is a bow right behind that. And most of all of this I'm going to definitely keep. Actually, I keep all of it except for the title. So everything's laid down, and then I ultimately decide, you know what? I don't like that cut file there. I don't like that blue color. So I'm going to pull it up. But as you can see, that doesn't pull up well because I used that darn aqua glue, right? It was stuck to the paper. So I decided, you know what? Let's do it over. So I cut all the stitching off. Yes, 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 I did. And then I grabbed another piece of white texture cardstock, mounted that on the pattern paper, did the stitching again. It didn't take me too long. And then I started over. So I'm laying down all of the elements. There's the bow, want to add some height and dimension to that. So I popped that up on some foam squares, which I do a lot of the elements on my layout. Taking off the backings there, there's that little charm, that rubber charm that's exclusive to the kit. It says best ever. I'm gonna go ahead and put that bow right behind it. And then I'm going to work on the top left, trying to decide if I am going to tuck that behind or in front of the photo or on top of the photo. And ultimately I decided to put that there at the top corner, not to cover up my daughter's image in the photo. There's a lot going on there at the top. Then I'm going to tuck a little flower and some butterflies. Now I want the butterflies to look like they've landed on the page and they're just kind of floating across the page. So I'm adding some foam squares to the butterflies, to their little wings so they pop up. So there's that one. These are just beautiful elements. The colors are so nice. And you know what? It's a really nice departure from all the turquoise and pink that we had in the past few collections. A lot of scrapbooking collections had that pink and turquoisey look. I'm just loving all the navy blue and the purples and the grays and the other hues of blues and pinks. Very pretty. So I'm working on the smaller frame, adding a flower and some leaves to the left, no, to the right bottom of that frame. And that frame essentially just serves as an anchor for all of those elements. I talk about anchoring and layering elements in my Layering Like a Boss class. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. That's on the Victoria Marie class website. I'll post a link down below. Now I'm adding some clear acrylic stars just to add a tiny bit of sparkle and some interest to the layout. Last, I'm going to address the title. So I cut that cut file out again, this time using some textured American Crafts white cardstock. And I wanted to create an ombre effect. Good grief, now I can't talk. So I do most of the dark painting at the bottom, and then I'm just spreading the paint out, going upward to the very, very top of that cut file. So the paint kind of fades, creating that ombre effect. And I'm adding just more water to dilute the color. I'm going to dry that all up with my heating tool. And it's going to look a lot different once it's dry. And there we go. In the actual layout, the bottom part sort of lightens up a bit, but it definitely is navy blue color. And so once I put that on the layout, I said to myself, yes, this will work. This is exactly what I wanted. I like the differentiation in the color and how it fades out from the light to the dark, or fades in from the light to the dark. I really, really like that. I decided to add some sprinkles on there, and you know what? I was debating whether or not I wanted to do this because the sprinkles didn't land the way that I wanted to, but I said, you know what, we're just going to live with it because I'm not going to do this background over again. So there I am with the Tombow Mono Aqua Glue. This time I am 100% committed to this, and as soon as I put that on the page, I love it. I like the how the colors mimic the colors and the elements, and it definitely goes along with the nice watercolor features and a lot of the elements featured in this particular collection. So I grabbed the sticker sheet and I added a little sticker there that says memories. I felt that that little corner of the layout needed just a little something extra. Then I'm going to add these little word strips, and one says be yourself, don't ever change, and you are loved. So here is the final layout. I am much, much happier with the title and the colors. I'm glad that I went the watercolor direction to pick up some of the other watercolor and sort of muted elements, or muted colors rather, in the elements that I use on this layout. Very happy that I did the hand stitching. Just really love this layout overall. It's so whimsical and has lots of movement. For more information about this kit and other products offered by Clique Kits, make sure you check out the Clique Kits website and blog. The link is posted down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.